So you talked about the chicken chips analogy, but I often have parents that will say to me, I just do not know where this meltdown or outburst has come from. What is going on when something happens and you have no idea why?
Yeah, so it can come completely out of the blue. It feels like everything's going okay, and it can feel like the smallest, most unusual thing that can trigger this huge response.
Yeah.
So I've got some props here to help me explain that, because I think it's really important to think about everything that's gone on in the child's day as a layered effect. So what we've got here is a bottle of stress. So this just represents anything throughout the day that can slightly stress a child, so it can be big or small. And then we've got a glass. So this glass represents how much stress that we can take at one time. And so everyone's got a glass, and we can even come into the day with a glass already full from a really full-on day before us. So it doesn't necessarily empty every day. So if we think about the layered response, we might have a child so every stress that comes in, it's just kind of going to pour into the glass at a different amount. So if we think about...
So if you haven't slept very well...
Absolutely, yeah. So you haven't slept very well, that's going to pour it in. It might have been a stormy night, just keep the child up and down throughout the night. So absolutely, that's a big stress, lack of sleep. It could be in the morning the child finds out that dad's taking them to school instead of mum, which is, it's cool, it's exciting, dad's taking them to school, but it's a change. It's just a change in routine.
And then they get to school and there's a reliever in the classroom.
Yes, they weren't expecting the reliever, and they're not super good with change, so that's some more. What else can come up?
Maybe they were thinking that they had their chocolate biscuits in their lunchbox, but actually it turned out they were plain biscuits in their lunchbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, like it can just be, we can have a massive pour or tiny things. The pen they wanted, someone else took it. Or if it's still raining, they're not able to go outside and play, so they're stuck inside.
And maybe the noise from being stuck inside all day at school.
That kind of constant overload of noise.
And then they tripped up walking to the car.
Yeah. So again, not a big thing, but these all add up. And you can also, we do empty our glass throughout the day as well. So these are things that help calm us and relax us. So if they could take some time during the day in the noisy classroom to pop some headphones on and listen to music over in the reading corner and get a bit of quiet space. So while stresses are pouring in, we also can do some nice things that help take it out. But if there's more stress than we can kind of take out of there, the little things add up. So we've come home, we've tripped, I don't know, our brother beat us to the door, we wanted to be first to open the door. There's just little things. And then what we talked about with the chicken chips, I wanted the chicken chips, but there was none. Seems like, it is an inconvenience, I get it, you want the chicken chips, they're not there.
And it might have happened 50 times before and not actually been a problem, but today it's a problem.
But today the glass is really full and there's only plain chips, and it's at that point that the glass overflows, and that kind of big emotion comes out. May or may not have kind of flipped our lid, but it is really, the really big kind of big emotions. And so while it seems like the small little thing and we can't understand it, but actually when we think about it as that layered accumulative effect, it just helps us understand it a bit more.
And I guess at that point, when you give them the chicken chips and the chicken chips don't solve the problem, it's because it's not about the chips, it's about the 10 other things that have happened before that.
Yeah, and I think all of us adults can also relate to this as well.
Absolutely.
Where you've had the same experience 100 times, but today you can't do it. You end up yelling at someone, you end up storming out of a meeting, and it's the same thing. It's we haven't slept, we've got all these other things going on, we've got deadlines, and it's the last thing that overflows.